Alright, Jonathan Wallace, here prepared to finish and continue working on lab number 4. It is the quantitative anion tests. And we've already done the test on our bromide and our carbonate, and I've written down our results and did our observations. And the next anion test we're going to be doing is on iodide. And see, we've got all my stuff here still. I've got my test tubes on this plate. I've got some chlorine mixture here, my hydrochloric acid, silver nitrate, and my organic reagent that I'm going to be using in this experiment along with my nitric acid. And so here we go. I'm going to get going. First off, got my goggles. First off, in our first test tube, we are going to be putting 8 drops of iodide in our first test tube. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Close enough. And then 8 drops hydrochloric acid. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. I went ahead and put 10 because I actually put 10 drops of iodide in it to kind of make it still equivocal. And we're going to look for some gas maybe, or something that's coming up from it. There's no precipitate, definitely no color change, and no smell. It's kind of hasn't done anything. Alright, so we'll move on to our test tube number 2. This time we will put 8 drops of iodide in here. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Alright, next we're going to do 3 drops of silver nitrate. Yeah. 3 drops silver nitrate. We have, squeeze it hard enough. 1, 2, and 3. Alright, in here, got a little bit of color change. Get it behind some white material to look. It's almost a off-white, yellowish kind of color. And it does have some precipitate on the bottom of it. Still not really any smell. So we're going to move on to the next test tube. And here, well, sure, we're not done with this one. I'm going to be adding some nitric acid to it. Just a few drops, and see if there's any other changes, if the precipitate accelerates in its reactions, or if it goes away, or what, we'll see. So I'll put a few drops in here, maybe 2 or 3. 1, 2, and 3. Let's see what that does. Shake it, twirl it. It's definitely created more precipitate at the bottom. Color hasn't changed. Really still doesn't have a really strong smell of any sort, but definitely has a lot more precipitate. Adding the nitric acid to it. Alright, so our next test tube, we're going to take our iodide and we're going to put 10 drops in it. Make sure it's all drained out with water from cleaning it out. Okay, that looks much better. Alright, so 10 drops of iodide. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Next, we're going to do 2 or 3 drops of the organic reagent. So there's our organic reagent. And about 3 drops of it. No change yet. And we are going to do several drops of chlorine. So of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Should be good for several drops. And as you can see, it's going to turn this amber orange color. No precipitate. It's just changed color pretty good. And doesn't have a really bad smell. It's definitely a little bit stronger smell than the previous test tubes. And so that was our reactions from our iodide, which differs a little bit from our carbonate reactions, and is about the same as our bromide. And so I think we're starting to see a little bit of a sequence and pattern in this, in relating the anions and non-anions. Probably we'll see as we continue going through our different chemicals and see what we come up with.
Good stuff.